Alright, guys, welcome back. We are watching Made in Abyss Season 2, Episode 10. Last time, well, Fapita is here. She has arrived to enact her judgment on the inhabitants of Iriburu. I, uh, I don't know where that is gonna lead us exactly. I'm a little bit worried about how that's gonna go down exactly. I don't think I'm very happy about that, right? I completely understand her feelings. I understand if it's true that it comes from Irumyuui herself. I understand that completely. But I don't know if this will be good for Faputa or anyone, right? Is everyone just gonna die like that? We can't do that, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know. But it's like, as Voiko said, it would be like trying to get Rico to stop adventuring, I suppose, to ask Faputa to not kill them all. So I don't know. Gonna be rough. Gonna be rough. I guess we'll see. Wazikyan has his weird plan going on, which is like crazy. So maybe he has something up his sleeve. Who knows? Who knows? But we're watching episode 10. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. And MIDI. The time to awake. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, does Nanachi know her? Well, Nanachi has like the memories, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. That's why. Ooh. Volatile. Oh, he can finally be judged, right? Essentially, you know. That's like what he wanted so long ago. Interesting. So unlike me. I wonder what he's referring to exactly, you know? Obviously, we know he has a very negative view of himself, right? She burns everything to ash. Oh, okay. Nanachi's free. But what about Midi, right? Oh, God. The boundary line. Oh, okay. That's about Midi. All right. Oh, really? No. Well, she's also not real. Yeah. I mean, she's real, but interesting. Ooh, oh, the force field. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that is very scary. Oh, it can probably just come through the hole that Reg blew in the wall, right? Ah. Hmm. I'm positive that Nanachi is going, of course, to not just choose to sit here and die with Midi. But I guess the question is like, hmm. Oh, yeah, right. It's not that simple, unfortunately. Sure, true, right. Like, it's like she thinks of her own body, of course, as like a gift from Midi in a way, right? Sitting here and just doing nothing. We just have to do it again? We just have to do it again? She just has to say goodbye to Mitty again? Like... Sure, that's a good motivation. Ugh, God. Interesting that she thanks him, considering the way he views it, right? Right. Oh, she can cook now. Oh my god. Right. It's like actually so huge. Ah. And if only she was here, right? If only she could have been with us. Oh. God, please don't do it again. Oh, man. Ah. Oh. She did it on her own this time. I said them too. No. God, is that just gonna happen to all the villagers, I guess, right? I mean, none of them can exist. And the village is gonna get destroyed. Oh. What is it, exactly? Oh. So many things. Oh. Cast them all away. Oh, it's a hat. Oh. All that you gather is your value. That's the name of the episode, right? Oh, what a beautiful opening sequence. Oh, and we don't get an opening on the subject of that. Okay, okay. I really gotta think about Nanachi and Mitty. I don't know. Reg's awake. Thank God. Riko didn't die. Oh. Gabarin. That's his name. In the mayhem. What is the mayhem looking like? Exactly. Right. And Gabarin isn't really on her side exactly, right? I mean, he's on her side, but he doesn't... It's not like he wants the village to be destroyed the same way she does, right? Oh, yeah. And yet Reg is the one who made the decision to... Oh! Right! Of course. Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Oh, God. Oh, oh, God, please don't kill her. Oh, but... Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Okay, time to face it. It sounds good. Oh, God. I still... Oh, yeah. She's really having fun, huh? Oh. Is that thing alive? It has eyes. Oh, okay. You saved her. Thank God. Imagine he's not long for the world now. Yeah. Rip Inbelites. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, hell, we saw him in the flashback. Like the one he transformed into. Oh, the balancing. Right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I guess because he hit that guy. Right, right. Another 30 minutes. Is his foresight that specific? Of course, of course. Bad at lying. But can Reg stop her? I mean, it's up to Reg. He's the only one who possibly could, right? I don't think we're gonna somehow talk her out of it at this point. Oh, God. Okay. Go for it, I guess. Interesting. What is the outcome that Wazi-Khan is looking for here exactly, right? Does he want... If he wants Reg to stop Faputa, what was the point of any of this? I guess... Well, I don't know. Oh, God. Her eyes. Ooh. Sure. God. Okay. To be honest, sure. Sure. Ooh. Oh, God. Yeah. What you're meant to do. Oh, flashback. Oh. What happened to him? At least, I mean, we know it gets fixed, thank God. Oh, one of the dragon things. What were they called? Something dragon. And there's Reg. Is this their meeting? Probably. Ooh. Is that... Is that the language we know? This, I don't know. We'll talk about it in the discussion. Oh, on his head. Oh, God. Very interesting seeing Reg like that. What a crazy transition. Thought what? Oh, yeah. Right, right. Because Gabarin said something similar. That they could have the same creator. Oh, God. Her teeth. Oh. Oh, God. What is... Is it just gonna heal her again? Okay. That didn't look too pleasant, but sure. She's fast. Oh, God. What are we doing right now? Please don't. Please don't do that. Oh, Jesus Christ. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't think... I don't think this is gonna help him remember, actually. No. I wonder why. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Oh, God. I mean, of course she feels so betrayed by Reg, right? Like, it must be so weird for her to see him... Because he still seems so similar now to the way he was before, right? in such a strange way. Oh. So is Reich supposed to be speaking the language we're familiar with from Orth, and then they are speaking like the village language right now? It's just the subtitles like switched? Or maybe, right. Yeah, he was already Reg. He was already Reg. What does that mean, though? Oh, okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. What is she doing? Oh, okay, okay. So now, makes sense. Okay. Stop eating him. I love the Fopta noises so much. What are you doing? Oh, I see. Oh, that's where the Sosu came from. Okay, okay. Now she says it after every single sentence. Learning how to play your role. Interesting. Oh, Liza, I'm sure, right? I think Reg has an interesting playing his role, I think, is something that is important to him in some way. Oh, and that's where she got that. Of course, right. Yeah. Oh. It must be so conflicting for her right now, right? Like, I wonder, does she blame this on Reg just having lost his memory so he doesn't understand, or does she, oh, or does she think that this is like her Reg right now fighting against her? You know? Oh, it's right, the white whistle. It's yeah, okay. Oh, I, man, I guess we'll see, huh? Oh, God, this music. Literally. Oh. Oh my god. These effects. Sure. This doesn't last that long though, right? Ooh. The kind stone person. Yeah, yeah. Prushka. It's interesting. She has some kind of like connection to that in some way, right? Oh. Oh, okay. Gabarin was the one. Well, I think it makes sense. I don't know. Sure, we just got it though. Interesting. Huh. She feels so strongly about that. Oh. Oh, what is going on out here? Oh, yeah, yeah. It must be so... Oh, God, her voice. It has to be so hard for her, I think. Oh, the Iron Rain. We heard about that at some point, right? Okay. What? Okay. What is he doing? Is that, I suppose, I don't know how that does that, but sure. Oh, God. Good transition. Very. It might. Can't do much about it, though. Of course, of course. Right, right. is, is that how that works? I suppose. Can you really only have one most important thing, though? I don't know. I don't know. I guess definitionally. Sounds like it, right? But I don't know. I don't know. Have to fulfill her wish, right? I suppose. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. It's like we needed Reg, you know, for it to even be possible. Hmm. Of course, yeah. I part of fulfilling her role, you could say. Her nature is a living creature. I feel like I have some thoughts on that. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, right, right. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because he only had one youth left, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Interesting. God. I'm gonna have to think so much about Reg. How does he already have the name Reg? How does he know about Rico? I guess from Liza he knows about Rico. But why is Rico already so important to him when he's never met her before? Oh, God. So sad, right? It's the way that this purpose that she has led her to this kind of life, you know? She's trapped. Oh, oh, interesting. I wonder, you know, she's Irmu's child, you know. Okay, okay. You better, Reg. You better keep that promise. So, come on. Oh man, it's like he had this whole journey beforehand, ascending the abyss that we just don't know anything about. You know, this whole. Oh man, how many? How long was he gone? I guess we just have no idea, right? We have no idea how long she's been waiting. I mean, even with the time dilation, you would think it wouldn't be that long, but I guess we just have no idea. We don't know what else Reg was doing on his ascent. Oh, God, we haven't had this track in forever, have we? Oh, his memories. Oh, they can come back to him in some way. Interesting. I. Oh. Burn yourself until there's nothing left. She doesn't. She can't be stopped, though, right? That's how she feels. She can't be stopped. She can't let herself be stopped. Oh, so yeah, right? Exactly. It's fighting against her nature, fighting against her role. God. God, that's the end. What a good episode. What a good episode. Oh my God. That might just be like the best episode of the whole anime so far. That was so good. Oh, that was so good. Oh my god. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know. Papita is such an interesting character. All the stuff with Reg, it just the themes behind all of this is very this whole. I guess I certainly have some thoughts on like the idea of even having like a given purpose or like a nature as a person, right? I guess I feel like that's just not true, and that you can always change yourself and who you are and everything, you know. So I guess in my mind I disagree with the idea that Fapita has this given purpose that she is required to fulfill and there's nothing she can do, right? And especially because it seems like we're meant to think like that in a way, right? Like there are obviously negative connotations with what Fapita's doing here, you know. Reg thinks she's gonna burn herself up, so there's nothing left, you know. And I guess I agree if she continues down this path, if this is all she is, then again it's like what does she do when this is done with, you know? What is that thing? Value. Oh God, what a title. Value. Okay, we'll talk about the episode in the discussion. Okay, let's talk about the episode. Maybe the best episode of like the entire anime so far. Is that a stretch? I don't really think it is. Just a really incredible. I don't know, just all of these flashbacks back and forth with Reg and Fapita, all of just this very, I don't know, thematically I think we are really like building to something very interesting here, I think, right? I don't know, I think it's very cool. I think it is a very very good, well structured episode. I don't know how they're ever going to top this one. That's for sure. I don't know, maybe the next two episodes will somehow be even better, but such a good episode, huh? We just gotta go through it. So Nanachi and Midi, I have thought a lot about Nanachi and Midi, and I guess this sounds kind of stupid to say, but I guess just like the purpose of everything that happened here with Nanachi and Midi, I feel like it's not like immediately obvious to me why the author is having Nanachi go through all of this stuff, right? Obviously, that's a really like meta way to think about it. I understand some people like don't like thinking of things in that way, but you know, like there's a reason why the author has put Nanachi in this situation with Midi, right? And I was honestly, I was struggling to think of an explanation that I'm happy with as for why any of this happened, right? I guess the thing that I came up with that I think makes sense to me is, think about in season one when Nanachi had Reg kill Midi, right? Um, Immediately something that it makes me think about is it is similar to Fapita and her situation right now with the village, where I said this during the episode too. I wasn't thinking about like the connection to Nanachi here, but it makes sense. How Fabita right now is like trapped essentially by this duty that has been given to her. As Gabriel says, it's like her nature. She can't change it, you know. Which God, we'll talk about that. This idea of like nature, I suppose. She's like trapped, right? We see how lonely and sad and just how depressing Fapita's life was, waiting for Reg this whole time. All of this stuff, you know, she's trapped by it, you know. Nana, she was kind of in a similar situation, right? Obviously it's not. I'm not saying like Midi was trapping her. That's anyway Midi's fault, right? But Nana, she certainly felt trapped by her situation, right? She stayed on the fourth layer for who knows how long, a long time, trying to find any way to kill Midi. And just like I think Faputa's, just like I think where we're leading with Faputa here, with whole thing. After Nanachi was going to be done with her goal of fulfilling Midi's wish to be killed, so she won't be suffering forever as an immortal being, right? Her soul trapped inside of this blob. Um, Nanachi didn't know what she was going to do. I mean, the implication in season one, of course, was that she was going to commit suicide, right? That there would be nothing left for her now, you know. Um, and I guess the conclusion that uh, her separation from Mitty left her with, I think, at the end of season 1 was she fulfilled what Mitty wanted, right? Which was to not be trapped in this blob forever, right? Which I get that. That's good. But then Nanachi was just kind of like lost, I think, in a sense after that. If you think back to the way she was talking about it in the movie, right? How she said like, oh, she didn't really think she was going to be able to see Mitty again at the bottom of the Netherworld. Like all this stuff, right? Where it seems like Nanachi is in a sense almost like guilty, I think, experiencing the things she's experiencing without Mitty being here, right? Uh, and I think maybe the whole point of everything that she goes through here, Nanachi separating herself from Mitty, again, facing her and like having, I think, this deeper understanding of like the motivation that Mitty like gives her in a way, is that now I think she understands that what Mitty would want for her, for what Mitty would want for Nanachi going on, like, on her journey, is just for Nanachi to like to be happy. That in no way is this like a betrayal of Mitty. Nanachi doesn't need to feel bad in any sense. That she's living her life and continuing on without Mitty being here. She doesn't even have to think of it in the sense of like she's doing everything, that she's only going on this journey so that she could find Mitty at the bottom, right? If she thinks that's unlikely, which who knows, I guess, right? If she doesn't think that's really going to happen, that's fine, right? Mitty would want for her to continue doing all these things, right? Learning how to cook, adventuring, yeah, making all these friends, going on a journey, all of this stuff, right? It's what Mitty would want for her, right? And I think through this, Nanachi gets some kind of understanding of that, right? That's what she does here, essentially, right? Is she has the opportunity here to sit and wallow forever with Nanachi and just die, die in each other's arms, right? And she doesn't do it. She makes the decision to move forward and go on with her journey. And I think the difference here is, unlike in season 1, where it left Nanachi with like this feeling of like guilt slash kind of like she's just kind of lost in a way. She didn't really know like what she was doing, or if it was like okay in a sense because of like what happened with Mitty and all of this. I think this gives her some form of closure on all of that, and like crystallizes her desire and what she's doing and everything like that, right? That is an explanation for me that I think makes sense, right? Because I feel like there was so much unresolved stuff with Mitty that Nanachi had to get through in order to not uh, be the person who was going to kill herself after what happened to Mitty, right? Because obviously the only reason the reason why she didn't, right? At least from what we've seen, the implication is that she would have if Reg hadn't just made her promise not to, so like she needs, it's not just enough for her to have fulfilled her goal, right? Which was do what Mitty wanted, right? Not to just be a blob trapped forever, right? She did that. She killed Mitty, but she needed something more after that. And I think that's the whole reason why we get all of this whole situation with Nanachi and Mitty in this season right now too, is because that is so applicable to Faputa, right? Um, we've talked so much about how it's Faputa's entire being. Everything that she is, everything that she's ever done has been wanting to destroy the village. She has to destroy the village. That's just everything. That's every waking moment of her life is needing to destroy the village, needing to kill her mother, free her. So much like Nanachi and Mitty, right? Um, so the question is, what will Faputa do afterwards? Will she burn herself up, like Reg said, right? Will it be like the same situation that Nanachi would have been in? If Nanachi had somehow managed to kill Mitty by herself without Reg having been there, what would have happened to Nanachi, right? That's a very similar thing to what's happening with Faputa right now, right? She has to somehow fight back against this idea that the only reason she exists and the reason for her creation is entirely what defines her, right? That the nature of her as a being is just to destroy the village, and then when that's done, well, what? Right? What does she do? That's the whole thing. Now I really want Nanachi and Faputa to interact in some way. It makes me wonder, because we now know that Nanachi has the memories from Baloth, right? Um, I wonder if Nanachi will have anything to say to Faputa if they get to interact in some sense. I almost wonder if that could be the key to all of this in some way, right? I really wonder. I really wonder. Because I think they could relate to each other very strongly in that sense, right? Because I think in a way it's like it's so clear to me that like once something horrible has happened to someone that you care about, like Irimiri for Papata, like Midi for Nanachi, this kind of thing, right? It's so hard to keep on living if you don't, like, fulfill what they wanted you to do, right? You feel guilty if you don't, right? I mean, in this case, for both of them, was literally killing them, right? Freeing them from their prisons, right? Midi being trapped in the blob, Irimiri being trapped as this village. Um, but I think both of them can relate very much to that feeling, that feeling that makes them feel so guilty and feel so trapped and feel so, that it's almost like they don't own their own life anymore in some sense, right? That like they care about that person so much that it's like whatever they wanted, their desires are so much more important than theirs, that all they can be is fulfilling those things for them. So that's my whole explanation for all this stuff. I hope that makes sense. I don't know, it makes sense to me, right? I like that interpretation. I think it makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. There's obvious connections to Baloth, right? Baloth says that he views Nanachi and Midi as being so much unlike himself, right? He views himself in this very like negative way. He wants to be judged. He is finally. It's like, yeah, since Fapta has returned, well, he's got to go. It's finally his opportunity to be judged now, right? Um, and he has given Nanachi and maybe Midi too. I don't know. I mean, Midi's a blob. Who knows? Given Nanachi at least, his memories, his experiences. Like dreams, they're volatile, but I hope they reached you. Very interesting. It's like he wants to live on in some sense through her, I suppose, by giving her these memories. It's like I imagine, yeah, that he views Nanachi as being like more worthy of having his value and his memories in some sense. It's very sad that he views himself in this way. I wonder, like, it's almost like he's someone who in his mind failed to protect the things that he thinks are so worth protecting, right? It's like you could imagine him in some way being someone who was like unable to uh pursue these things that are so important to him in the same way as like Nanachi is with like Midi, right? It's in like a more vague sense because it was just like what he ate his children and was really messed up by it. That's not like a specific thing that was like particularly important to him other than he didn't want to be a child eating cannibal, I guess, right? But you know what I mean. You two who are so unlike me. That is the reason why. Very interesting. And I guess, and the reason I feel conflicted about Bailoff too is because I guess I just disagree with him. I don't think I mean, we've talked it to death, right? This whole like necessary sacrifice idea, right? The question of like, yes, obviously what Wazukian did to Irimuri is like horrible, and eating her children is insane. But it's just the question is, what should they have done? All just died? I guess, right? Like, I guess that could be your answer. I don't know. It's really hard, like could anyone really look at Bailoff with a straight face and say like, yes, you should have just starved to death and died? Like, I guess you could say that because obviously what happened to Irimura is horrible. I don't know. Bailoff himself is certainly on that side, right? He thinks that's what he should have done. I just don't know if I agree with it. It's so hard. It's so hard because my thing with it is I think it is impossible. It is impossible to entirely avoid that kind of thing, right? There will always be other people who in some way are harmed by your efforts to continually survive. It's basically unavoidable if you live in like a society in it of any form, basically, right? Fabata will not stop till she burns everything to ash. He gave up Nanachi. Very interesting. I mean, it's what Bailoff has been waiting for this whole time, right? The opportunity to be judged. It's what he's always wanted. And he knows how important Midi is to Nanachi. I wonder, it's so interesting. We never really knew. I guess like there was never anything in specific for Bailoff that was super important to him in terms of like being a specific single thing, like Midi is for Nanachi. Um, but I mean, he ended up like I guess you could say it's there's just this whole group of things for Bailoff that he feels like he betrayed in some sense by having eaten Iramui's children, right? Hmm. I'm just trying to understand how specifically, how personally he can relate to like her situation and understand her feeling for Midi here. He was created as the village's limb, so I'm capable of enduring a little bit, but there are no exceptions. Obviously, this just, I mean, this, like, what he's saying here, it just seems like, yeah, all of the villagers are just gonna be gone, right? They're all gonna die, right? The village is gonna be destroyed, and they're all gonna be gone. So they're all just gonna disintegrate. So rest in peace, I guess. Other than Voiko, maybe, right? Because Voiko is still in her human form, right? So that's a good question, right? Voiko is still in her human form. I guess that was kind of the whole plan that like Rico was saying, right? Is that Rico would use the eggs. I still don't understand how Rico like uncovered Wazikan's plan through that conversation. But it was something in that vein, I guess, to make it so they won't disappear when the village disappears, right? I guess, right? And yeah, the force field is creeping in, which is very, very concerning for like Rico, right? Um, it seems like Fapito's immune to the curse, just like Reg is, so it's no problem for them. But yeah, Nanachi and Rico, they gotta worry about that, right? Hmm. So I guess like the other important aspect of this, just talking about Nanachi and Midi for one more second, is like Nanachi like she weighs Rico and Reg like against Midi. It's like she views it. I think it's very telling about how she views her actions from before as almost somehow choosing to go on this adventure with Rico and Reg over Midi in some way, right? Like she should have killed herself. She should have died to be with Midi forever, yeah, as a soul or whatever, right? And she views her continued adventure as having been like a betrayal of Midi in that sense, right? She views them as like opposing weights on a scale, you know. But I think through this connection with Midi again here, I think she reaches some kind of understanding, or at least just in her own head, she works it out that like she doesn't have to feel like that, right? This is what Midi would have wanted for her. Obviously, this isn't in any way a betrayal of Midi, right? I think the way that Midi just like disintegrates in a sense, I think it's very interesting how it's just like Midi isn't. She doesn't have to be trapped by Midi. Midi's gone, right? Like as sad and as horrible as that is, Midi is gone, right? There is no Midi anymore. Midi literally disintegrates away in her arms. You know, it's just she can keep living her life. It's just as horrible as a feeling it might be to reach that conclusion. As guilty as she might feel, that's just how it is, right? Oh. Hmm. It's the Midi from before Bon and I hurt her in all sorts of ways. And God, and she's so guilty about that too, right? About everything that they did to her. Man. And yeah, and like and the sad thing too is like she thinks, oh, I didn't receive this body just to lie around and sleep. Because even that is like some sense of guilt in a way. That it's like she's only is the way she is. She's only alive still because of Midi as well, right? And it's like it's probably obvious to her in a sense that Midi wouldn't want this from her, to just lie around and do nothing forever. Of course, right? Hmm. Things turned out like this. I'd make it so her soul returns to me. I don't want to do anything else that Mitty might hate me for. This time I can see her off without anyone else's help. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. It's just to talk about like plot stuff for a second. Are there going to be some weird implications to the fact that there's apparently two Midi souls now, or because they said that the soul was recreated in the village too. Maybe the soul just like disintegrated too, just like the rest of her. That I doubt there's going to be two Midis at the bottom of the netherworld waiting for Nanachi. That's going to be quite the fight, huh? Hmm. I wish I could have talked to you more. Ah, God. I hope she doesn't see her again. Oh God, I don't know if I could take a third one. that would really be rough, huh? Man. And the Balof's little buddies who took a liking to Nanchi give her a new hat. Very nice, very fancy. It won't disappear, made with outside stuff. Longing, impurity, joy, pain, I have cast them all away. Pick them up and carry them with you, right? He has given all these things to Nanachi with his memories, right, with his experiences, and he views Nanachi as someone who should pick them up and carry them along with her. Very interesting. It's like he just views himself as someone not being worthy of having those things, I suppose, right? All you gather is your value. What a meaningful, yeah, like, man, all that you gather is you value. It's like your experiences, everything. It's like all these different things that make you up, right? It's so again, it's so against like the idea that's brought up in this episode too with Faputa, um, with her having like this inherent nature to her that she's unable to fight against, that she has to fulfill, and that's like her entirety, you know? No, it's your experiences. It's all the yeah, everything that you gather, everything you experience in life, all of your memories and people that you meet and connections you have, all of these things. That's your value. That's what you are, right? There's no yeah, yeah. Makes complete sense to me. So Reg wakes up and well, Faputa is quite busy, huh? Man, Rika's attitude about this is interesting. I wonder how Reg feels about it, right? Because Reg is the one who let Faputa in the first place, right? Rika obviously doesn't want the village to be destroyed. I don't know. I just wonder. I wonder if this is setting us up for further conflict, like in his head about that. I like, Jesus Christ, these shots of all of just the destroyed corpses of all of the villagers. Like, god damn, what are we doing? Wait, let me read those lines. That light with its undying curiosity and hollowed curse. It burns all that it gazes upon. It is now as the scorching sun. Golden City of the scorching sun, huh? It is time to face it. Show your resolve. I suppose. All these villagers. I mean, it's almost like it's like this big guy. It's like he couldn't stop himself from trying to lunge at Faputa still. They're still so, like she's the embodiment of value, so they can't help themselves still, and she's just slaughtering them, like, man. Thank God Blue Girl didn't die. Oh my god. It was close, right? Like right here. Oh my god, it's so close. Like, ah, a big this guy really saves her. Like, man. I guess he died doing what he loved, right? He's the guy who liked having like soft things crawl around him or something. Well, I mean, there you go. That's perfect, right? And the balancing is attacking them too. I guess when they like this guy swung the thing at that dude, and then the balancing starts attacking him because he hit someone. Like yeah, yeah. And of course, the balancing can't attack Faputa because she's Faputa, right? Yeah, yeah. It's even spreading to the buildings and the walls. Guess we've got about another 30 minutes. How specific is Wazukyan's the foresight? He can tell that it's 30 minutes away until something happens. Man, very specific, huh? Hmm. So Reg steals himself. He's got to stop Faputa. And Wazukyan says everything hinges on what you do now. So what is Wazukyan's what is the outcome that Wazukyan is looking for here? Um I have literally no idea, right? But he says everything hinges on what Reg does. So he's not looking for Faputa to just continue her rampage and kill everyone, right? Because then what part would Reg have to do with this? Um I have no idea. How does this work into his plan? What does he want Reg to do with Faputa? How is that going to have any part of whatever he wants? Because again, it's like if his end goal will be in some way they get to continue their journey down into the abyss, right? To find the real Golden City, perhaps. Um, what is the goal here? How will that be achieved? What is going on right now? How will he not get ripped to pieces by Faputa? How will he not disintegrate when he leaves the village, right? Again, I guess the idea was this whole thing with Rico and the eggs, but what does that have to do with Faputa? I guess is Faputa there's Faputa has 3 eggs like inside of her. Um I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. It's something. It's definitely something. That is for sure. It's absolutely something. Quite the face down here. Reg tries to come up with an excuse first for why he's doing what he's doing. He's always so unsure of himself and unsure of like his own resolve in a way, right? A very similar character to Fapita, right? He talks about like this idea of like duty and having to like live up to like your role and all of this stuff, which I think is very important for Reg. It he has very little confidence in his actions and like decisions that he himself makes through his own will, right? So like right now when he's walking up to Fapita to like start stopping her, he feels like he has to come up with some excuse, right? He can't just say, "Oh, I'm going to stop you," right? He wants to come up with some excuse for why I, blah 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 blah, right? Of course. Hmm. I think it makes sense that Fabita in that case is so like angered by it in a way, you know? All right, time to stop her. If you're gonna do it, it'd be better to take me by surprise. No kidding. Fabita will make you remember what you were meant to do, even if it takes giving you a beating. I wonder what she thinks. I think that line makes more sense with context of later in the episode, right? In terms of this whole, like, these things that you're meant to do, your duty, your role, that kind of thing. It's something that is so important to both of these characters in a way, right? It's Fabita entirely as a character, right? Um, hmm. So it must be so weird. It must be so conflicting for her to see the way Reg is now, right? To see he's so clearly very much the same person as he was before, right? We've always had this question about whether or not, the way that Reg was before he lost his memories, was he even close to the same person as he is now? And through these flashbacks, we see that yeah, he's very similar, right? He's still the Reg we know. Um so Fabita sees that. She sees that this Reg that has appeared in front of her acts just like the Reg she always knew. And yet, despite all the stuff that he told her about how important it is to fulfill her duty and play this role and all of this stuff, because of the way he views himself, right? Um, he is now oppositional towards her, right? And he doesn't want her to destroy the entire village. That just must be so weird to her, right? Because it's almost like her way of thinking that this destroying the village thing is all that she is, and it's her entirety as a person is that she has to do that, right? So it's unimaginable for her to stop. That I feel like that was almost reinforced in some part by Reg, right? By him agreeing to help her do it and all of this stuff. Um, so now him showing up again, someone that she relied on so much before, like almost for motivation in that sense. Uh, now he's against it, right? That must be crazy. She just can't imagine it, right? It like shows this capacity for change within Reg that must be like unimaginable to her in a sense. I just man, I don't know, right? Because like, think just does she imagine how that could be applied to herself in some sense, or she's probably not that far along in the thought process, right? It just must be, oh God. So Gabarin got fucked up by one of the turbanid dragons. Hmm. And Reg shows up. Here is Reg. So Reg. Okay. No, this is huge. This is huge. Okay. Reg has what's it called again? The Blaze Reap. That's what it was called, right? I'm not. Am I completely making that name up? Blaze Reap. Yeah, the Blaze Reap. Okay. For some reason, I thought I literally made that name up. No, that's what it's called. He has the Blaze Reap on his back, right? So, complete confirmation that Reg is the one who made the fake grave for Liza, right? Maybe that's just a bygone point, but like it's good to have that complete confirmation. He's the one who made the fake grave for Liza, right? Liza gave him that on his ascent, right? Certainly no reason to think that Liza's dead by this point, right? Like Reg like mentions his master. He doesn't say anything about, oh yeah, too bad she's dead now. I guess that doesn't mean she's not, but like you know what I mean. Um, and he has the Blaze Reap, so he's going up there to make the fake grave, right? He's really it's like he's setting a bunch of stuff into motion. Um, but it's just like for what purpose? He goes up to make the fake grave with the Blaze Reap, all of this stuff. We can assume he has Liza's letter and all that stuff on him right now. Um, he's going up to the surface to get his Haku, to get Rico, right? Assumedly, of course. If it's not Rico, that's insane. To get Rico. How does he know Rico when he's never met her before? Why does he have the name Reg? Why does he have to make the fake grave in the first place? Why can't he just go get Rico? What's the point of the fake grave? Why does he need to do any of this? Is this all like a contingency plan for if he has to fire the incinerator again and lose all his memories? Because obviously he's on the last shot of the incinerator right now. Him shooting it to save Rico in episode 1 of season 1 was the last shot that made him lose all his memories and made the story start, right? um So was all of this some weird contingency plan, the fake grave with the letter and all of this, in case Reg lost his memories? It would motivate them to go down into the abyss anyway? Maybe. That's some very impressive planning on their part, I suppose. Um, and then how does he have the name Reg? How does he have the name Reg? So here's the crazy theory I've thought of. Because here are the options for him having the name Reg before ever having met Rico, right? Because Rico named him Reg. He didn't know his name was Reg. Rico named him Reg after her dog, right? Here are my crazy theories. One, well, here are the possibilities. One, time travel. Two, a coincidence, which it's not. It's neither of those. It's neither of those. Don't worry. Three, um, okay, this is one that like kind of like maybe makes sense, which is just the idea that Liza, which is the idea that Rico, we know Rico had the dog Reg before, and that Rico had the dog Reg before Liza left, so Liza also knew about the dog named Reg, and then she just happened to name Reg after that dog, and then Rico also named Reg after that same dog that they both knew before Liza left. The only reason I don't think that is because wasn't Rico like 2 or something when Liza left? I just don't think I don't think if Rico had this dog before Liza left, then I don't think she would even remember it, right? Like she wouldn't have reached the age where she would even have memories of a dog named Reg before Liza left, right? Because she doesn't remember her mother, right? So I don't think she would remember the dog, right? So I don't think it's any of those. The only thing I can think is some kind of weird, like soul related crazy stuff going on, right? We've had these references specifically comparing Reg to a dog before, right? Like earlier in this season, right? There were the scenes where Reg was like hunting down the smell from the letter and stuff. And Nanachi kept calling him a dog, right? Um, we know that there's weird stuff with souls going on with like Rico, right? Rico was dead in the curse repelling vessel, and then she became not dead anymore. It makes you wonder if there's some kind of weird like soul thing going on, right? That's the only thing I can imagine, right? Is that in this universe, the thing that separates you from being dead or not is whether or not you have like a soul, right? That Rico was dead, and somehow either I mean, was it even her own soul? Something happened, some kind of weird soul related stuff happened with her too, right? Um, which like we've talked about that before too, with like the dream she had about like Mitty in season 1, right? Like all that this weird like potential connection to the abyss she almost has because of those experiences, right? Something weird with her soul, who knows, right? Um, it makes you think like, okay, Reg is a very unique robot. He he's similar to Gabaroon, but different. He's very like humanoid and very, he's like Reg. He's obviously very much more advanced than any other robot we've ever seen in this story, right? Um, it makes you wonder. I wonder if Reg himself has a soul, right? Is that like the difference here, right? He's a robot, but he has a soul, so he's like alive and he's like his own person and all of this stuff. I wonder if the soul that he has is like literally the soul from Riku's dog Reg, right? Is that how it works? Do dogs have souls? Maybe that would kind of make sense to me, though, in a way, right? Like somehow whatever created Reg, right? They've been making these robots like Gabriel and like the other interference units. Um, their technology has advanced very rapidly because of like the weird time dilation effect stuff, right? Um, they have crazy technology down there, I guess. Although no, it would work like the other way around, right? Well, I don't know. Ignore the time dilation mention, I guess. They wanted they're making robots, they're making robots with a soul now, right? Like Reg, that's what Reg is. And he could have the dog's soul. And I guess that would give him the memories that would explain why he knew that his name was Reg. Um, and that would explain why he knew Rico, because like he literally like was that dog. The only problem with that is, like, I just think it's kind of stupid. I don't know if that makes any sense. And that just still doesn't fix the problem of Rico naming him Reg anyway. But maybe that's just not a problem. Maybe that's just a coincidence I just have to accept. Maybe that's just fine. Um, like maybe, right? I just, I don't know. I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me. All these thoughts about like souls and stuff, right? Um, But, like, I don't know. Maybe. There's there is my ramble about all that. Okay. Anyway. So Reg is talking speaking like the language we know from Orth, right? And Fapita and Gabrun are speaking like the weird villager language, right? Right. First time we met, Fapita thought it. That ornament on your head looked like Gabrun. Yeah. Fapita was happy when a Gabrun's allies came to help. Catch us to Gabrun began to move, right? Through this process as well, Reg gets like some of his memories back. At least that's the implication from what he says at the end here, right? He says he's like getting memories in some sense back, which is very interesting. It makes you wonder, can Reg get all of his memories back, you know? Maybe. Why do you forget it all? And oh god, okay. Fapita does some I don't even want to look at it. Why does she do this? This shouldn't be allowed. It's God. Yeah, I wonder why you can't understand what he's saying, Fapita. I sure do wonder. God, this is like the bravest soldier of all time right here. Like, man. So he tells her, yeah, if you're a princess, be more graceful. And God, it even goes back to that, right? Her viewing herself as a princess. That is something that Reg like reinforced in her in some sense, right? Yeah, it's similar to those who pass through on occasion. The ones holding the stone people, I think she says. Yeah, the ones who carry around the stone people like their white whistles, of course, of course. Faputa and Reg. Fau means noble maiden. Aputa means immortal one. Put it together, and it is Fakuta, the princess who won't perish. God, like what? How is she balancing up there, doing this on top of him? Yeah, it's like he's so. Yeah, so this is where she starts saying so Sue, of course. But I think that the line that he says right here is very interesting. Learning how to play your role is more important than you'd guess. What? Yeah, that's what my mentor said anyway. Very interesting. I just think that's such a telling line in a way. Him saying that because I think part of the reason why Reg always second guesses his own actions and like thinks the way he does is because he imagines himself as having like this very specific role he needs to play, and he like reinforced that in Fapita's mind, right? So he gives her that as a symbol of friendship, and she's had it to this day. So we activate the white whistle thing, which is very cool. I wonder how long it's gonna last. It didn't last that long last time, right? And it might not even be enough to stop Fapita. So I don't even know. It seems like she's still like a match for him. So, but yeah, Fapita can like tell what's up with the white whistles. Can like communicate with Prushka. Maybe not communicate, but can tell what Prushka is. Can tell what the white whistles are, which is very interesting. The stone person was unable to say how cramped they felt. Huh. So it's like I wonder if the connection between like Rico and Prushka has also been like strengthened in that sense. I mean, it seems so, right? Like Rico can like use the whistle now, you know. I was testing her, that human child who's carrying around the stone person without even sculpting them. If the human child and the stone person were truly drawn to each other, she'd find her way to mother, even if they got separated. It's so interesting. Fabita really just has this way of thinking where she views everything like this very like defined like roles like nature like that, right? I mean, we keep talking about it, you know, but I think like the way she thinks about this too is in that same vein, you know. Here's the iron rain. After seeing mother like this, your memory should have come back. You should have remembered. God, the voice acting of that line was crazy. And Wazukyan does something. I don't know. Reg says, is he trying to protect the village from the fire rain? I don't know how that's going to do that. Maybe, I guess. Another flashback back to Fapita showing Reg Iramuri, right? We talk about Haku. It's what you attach to your number one most precious thing. I guess I don't know if the idea of number one most precious thing even is like is a right way to think about it, you know? I think different things are precious to people in different ways, and trying to rank them is very strange to me. I feel like I disagree with the idea of only one specific thing having to be most important. It leads me back yet again. How many times have we talked about it? The conversation between Rico and Prushka in the movie, where they talk about Rico's motivation for going down into the abyss, right? And how it's this big giant collection of things that have come together, right? And that's her reasoning now, right? So she doesn't have one specific like Haku, one specific important thing that she's chasing by going down into the abyss, right? Initially, she had like the, she wants to find her mother, but now there's this big, huge group of stuff, and there's not any one specific thing, right? Yet again, it's just something that seems so in line with Faputa's like way of viewing these things. And I guess because Faputa has 3 eggs, she can have 3 Hakus. That doesn't make any sense. Hmm. Faputa eradicates the ones inside her. Mother will find rest again. Yeah, it's so... Man. And it's very interesting because it's like we needed Reg for this. It's like, how would Faputa have ever fulfilled this without Reg being here? Very, very interesting. And yeah, Gabrielle explains it to us about this whole idea of it being her nature. Yeah, it's something she has to do. That's how she is made. It is her nature as a living creature. And again, my idea of this is you can always I disagree with the idea of a nature deciding who you have to be and what you have to do. Because like if that was true, then like yeah, what would Faputa do after destroying Yoramiri, right? I mean, a nothing, right? Like no, she can make her own nature. She can make her own things that are important to her. Yeah, Reg explains the incinerator. He can't use it right now because he's on the last use, of course. Yeah. I'm climbing up this pit because I'm also searching for Haku. Rico. If I'm done with that, I'll lend you a hand. And that Haku will surely give me a hand with the issue with how much rewrite power I have left. And that's true. I don't know how Reg knows that that's going to happen. Like, I guess he could just explained it to her if he hadn't lost his memory. He's been like, hey, can you hook me up? I guess. Hmm. And Faputa's so lonely. She makes all these stone statues as her friends, and that's all she has. As the day Reg leaves, I wonder how long ago it was. I wonder how long ago Faputa was alone, right? It's like Reg had this whole journey up to the surface of the abyss that we just don't even know anything about. Let's promise each other, when I come back, once we take care of your destiny, we'll set off together. You better, Reg. I swear to God, you better. Man. Faputa better come with us now. Although, I just don't know how that's gonna happen, considering her current horrible murder rampage killing everyone thing. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Hmm. Ah, God, what a sad shot. All of these little friends she's made, and that's all she has. Just those in Gabu, right? Hmm. It just shows how where this way of life has led her, right? Where this reliance on this one goal, this one thing, being trapped by it in this way. And I guess I'm not saying the answer should be she should just give up on it and stop. Even though I mean maybe that should be the answer. I don't know if you should kill everyone, right? Um, but I don't know. It's just clearly she's not happy with it, right? I guess that's And Reb's getting his memories back. I know you're gonna burn yourself till nothing's left. Yeah, it's like if she defines herself entirely as just destroying the village and that's all she is, then yeah, she's gonna burn it all away. Because that's all she is, that's all she has, you know? But she can't let herself be stopped. So I don't know. I don't know what the key is. I don't know what we can do. I don't know what we can do to get Faputa maybe not to get Fabio to stop, but just to get her to recognize the idea of there being more that she could do, right? Being able to like be a person who isn't trapped by this and has more to her than just this purpose she was given. That's what I would want. That's where I'm hoping we're going. That's for sure. Such a interesting way to take like all the themes that we've talked about the whole time, that the whole show. It's like such a not a negative way to view it, I guess. It's just it's a reality. It's a different angle of it that we just never explored before, right? Well, I guess that is it. That was such a good episode. Yeah, so please, if you enjoy my videos, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next one.